Megan.
No.
Megan's just joined. Have you met Megan before, Trace?
No, but I've seen her name.
Yeah.
Well,
So Lizzie is my second team member, and Megan's joined up underneath Lizzie. So Megan, this is Tracy. Tracy is my other team, my very first team member. So welcome to the family.
Yeah.
welcome, Megan.
Welcome.
Yay.
Thanks, guys.
So exciting. Norris, I have a question.
Okay.
And my phone, I'm charging it, but it's at 1%, so I'm not sure if my phone's going to die while it's charging in the car.
Okay.
So I just want to ask it now before it dies. So something I've been coming up against is that closing the deal. Like I could share it with a million people, and I still find it hard to secure the sale.
Yeah.
What are your best tips for closing the deal? Like with anyone, really.
Okay, so in my experience, sometimes people need more than one exposure quite often. I'm probably not the best person to ask about it because, I mean, the advantage for me is when people coming to see me, they're already wanting something, you know, so it's hard for me to comment because I do this as a job, like, you know what I'm saying, they're expecting supplementation from me. So but even then, not all of them will tend to go for it. I think Nat and I talked about it today, and that's why she was going to jump on this call, because really it's about, we had a big chat today about it. It's really about building and educating exactly what the product is in the most simple way possible. So recently I've been going back to the science a lot and going back and watching as much stuff as I can about the actual nutrition of Juice Plus. And I don't know if you guys watched that call with Dr. Babadium or whatever his name was, that he did that call, right? He wrote a book called NutriPoints, which was on the New York Times best-selling list. And so he's got this way of categorizing. He uses a computer and categorizes what is the most nutrient-dense foods. And he's supposedly gone through like thousands of foods. So he's saying we need more and more nutrition in our bodies than ever before. So why don't we make an intelligent choice and start to look at the most nutrient-dense foods and focus on putting those into our bodies, which I think makes a lot of sense, right? So I haven't actually read his book, but he has that talk. It's on the Team Aroha page. If you haven't watched it, I would thoroughly recommend that you watch that, because he blew my mind. I was really like far out. I haven't heard it from this point of view before, nutrient density of foods. And he goes through and he rates all the different supplements that he compares. And for him, Juice Plus is the top supplement, without a doubt. He reckons that on his rating system, and that's why I love his talk, is he goes through and he says, well, look at the vegetables that's in Juice Plus, and these are the scores on the NutriPoints. So actually it's, you know, one of the best ways of actually getting nutrient-dense plants, the nutrition from them into your body in such an easy way. So Katie's gone now anyway, but I would definitely recommend you watch that. But Nat's here now, so that's awesome. Hey, Nat.
Sorry, guys. I actually didn't look at my watch.
Oh, it doesn't matter. It's all good. We've just been having a chit chat. Katie was on, and she just her phone died. She's in Witchcliff.
Oh, okay, cool.
So,
where do you want to go, Norris?
First of all, I just want to introduce you to Megan. I'm not sure if you've met her yet. Have you met Megan before? Megan.
No, only on Facebook. Only your beautiful face on Facebook.
Oh, cool.
Hey, Nat. How are we all?
Good.
Hey,
So, Nat's our upline, Megan. She's the one that pretty much is the reason that we're all here on this call, because without her and Juice Plus, we wouldn't have met each other probably. I'm sure we would have found a way, but anyway, thank God we have found each other. So Nat's a whole food coach, and tonight I was just telling the team that today we were talking about product, and Katie just asked a question about closing the deal, like what's my best tips on, and I said to her, it's about educating people more about the product. So why don't you talk about the verbiage around how you talk to people about Juice Plus, because you're really awesome at it.
Okay, so when you've made a relationship with somebody, you feel comfortable then to say, look, I would love to share Juice Plus with you. But first of all, I'd love to know something before that. And what I'd love to know is, can you just share with me? You're saying you've got low energy. You've asked all those master asker questions like, how's your energy? How are you feeling? What's going on for you with your health? Get them to share their story. Once they've shared their story, say, can I share something with you that I think might help? How many cups of fruit and veg do you eat per day? And they'll go, 1 or 2, right? And say, okay, so if I could share with you that the human body needs 7 cups of raw, fresh fruit and veg a day to sustain excellent energy and health, would that make you realise that you're probably under energy and you aren't fighting disease and you aren't feeling great and you can't lose the weight because you're actually not feeding yourself enough dense nutrients? And they'll go, oh. And the thing is, the one thing that I find as a food coach, but you say the one thing I find after coaching people in the area of food, whole food nutrition, you say to people that there's a pattern. People that eat under 2 or 3 cups a day are generally sick all the time. But people that eat up to 7 just seem to be thinner, lighter, their skin's better, they're clearer, their metabolism's working, they're going to the toilet 3 times a day. They seem to be, slightly more focused on the things that they want because the body's receiving the right amount of nutrition each and every single day. So the problem with that, though, is that when we go from 2 cups of fruit and veg a day to 7, it becomes expensive. Where do we source the best quality? How do we get in the variety? And are we getting truly the most seasonal produce that we can get? And most people go, well, that's the problem, because when you start to add another 5 cups of fruit and veg in for your husband and then for you and then for your children, all of a sudden your food bill's gone through the roof. And that's why generally people will only eat 2 cups of fruit and veg on average per day across the Australian continent and across the New Zealand continent, because to actually put in 5 cups a day costs almost $40 per person per day. And that's including all the other things that they do. So, this becomes very, very expensive. So when Juice Plus is added into the diet, it bridges the gap and it becomes a catalyst for change. So what we find is when we give people whole food concentrate Juice Plus, it raises from 2 to 7. And that's why they start to feel amazing, because we're bridging the gap. That's what I say.
So a question that definitely I have been asked, and I must admit I struggled to answer, was somebody said, but can you tell me how many servings of fruits and vegetables has gone into those capsules that I'm meant to take every day? I was like, fuck, I don't know.
So we were told by Wendy Campbell, who earns $185,000 a month in her Juice Plus business. She's the highest female income earner in the world, according to her, which I think is really cute. She said that there was 1.5 kg in the fruit and veg and almost 2 kg in the fruit, veg and berry.
This is per serve?
Per daily serve.
1.5 kg.
I just want to explain something to you though. You know when you make a green juice and you put in 5 different, like a cucumber, zucchini, you put in some kale, you put in a bit of broccoli, you put in your spinach, and you get this glass of juice, right? And then the sediment hits the bottom, right? That sediment would fill 1 capsule, and that's 5 servings. So when you're looking at 2 green capsules, 2 red capsules, and 2 purple capsules, you're looking at around 2 kg of fruit and veg. Now, how many servings? It's actually 30 servings of fruit and veg. You've got 10 berries, 10 fruit, and 10 veg. That's the sediment down the bottom. Now, people go, oh, but that's ridiculous because it would cost way more than $4.50 a day. And that's not true, because we have an alignment and we have a contractual agreement with all our farmers. We pay them per annum for their yield, whether it be big or small, but we control the yields. So in a global financial crisis, say if there's a storm and the pineapple farm gets wrecked by a tornado, we still pay the farmer $100,000 a year, right? So they think it's a guarantee because we sign a 10-year contract with our farmers and say, we'll pay you $1 million over 10 years secured. And then what happens is all the farmers are very smart. They know if they've got a guaranteed income of $1 million, they can start planning out their life and they can start working with the banks to improve the quality and the yield, and then they can also expand their farms and properties. So the company is, people think Juice Plus is a fruit and vegetable company. Juice Plus is more than that. It's a personal development company. It's a financial company. It is an education company. It is a growing company, as in farming practice growing, and it's a people company. Like, it's much, much more than we could ever fathom. So when somebody pays $100,000 for the yield, but they're producing enough fruit for an abundance of capsules, the product then becomes around $1.50 per fruit, veg and berry blend capsules to serve up to the person. Now, this is something that, let's say it's $1.50, but if you're working out your mathematics correctly with any business, the product should cost, for production and making and delivery, should cost a third. A third should go back to the company, and a third should go to the distributors. Now, it's exactly a third that goes back to the distributors with our marketing plan, so that's correct. So a product costs $1.50 to make, end user, with that, all that produce, because we have a totally different system. We aren't growing and then selling to a guy that takes it to a marketplace that sells it into Coles and Woolies that then puts another price tag on it. We don't have 7 people in between. We have farm to capsule. That's why we call our video farm to capsule. It's so clever. So, thing is, right, electricity should cost people around 7 cents a day to run a whole house if it's done properly, right? And that means that we have systems out there in the marketplace right now that can reduce our energy cost to 7 cents a day. And that was on the news last night. I was watching this amazing documentary, and then I went in and had a little bit of a look at it again this morning. And the thing is, what we do is we have people making money on top of making money on top of making money, and now our energy bills are $200 for 2 months instead of being $20, because there's so much money being made in between. And so Juice Plus cuts all the middle people out.
Yeah.
And I'll give you a great example. Down in Margaret River, I was buying mandarins over the weekend for 10 cents a mandarin. So I bought for $5 50 mandarins, right? But usually you get 10 mandarins for $5. And that's because they went straight from the farm to the market. And I said, that's crazy price. They said, well, no, not really. They just grow wild. This is what they're worth. So you've got to understand the servings is large, the price is low. And then when you have that belief and that knowledge, I mean, how do you ever get 30 servings of fruits and vegetables for $4 a day? You can't do it. That's why Juice Plus is such a profound formula. Does that make sense, Megan? She's frozen and she looks so angelic.
She is an angel.
Does that make sense, everyone?
I'm going to jump onto my phone again.
So does that make sense, Tracy? Steph? Nick? Yeah? Okay. It's really important to understand that our company is extremely intelligent. That's why we are now a $14 billion debt-free company, and we are 45 years old.
Hey,
So
Nat.
when,
oh, sorry.
yeah?
No,
Yeah.
keep rolling, babe.
So the education that's really important for people to have is that the company, you need to know the history of the company. You need to know in 1971 we were developed and we were smoke detector company. We sold that patent off, the design of that, for $1 million profit in 1981. In 1981, we brought in 6 different types of water and air filtration systems. We sold those patents off in 1992 for $1 billion profit. Then we brought in Juice Plus in 1993. Now, the way that it was found, it's very important to understand, is that there was a conversation on the plane that someone heard. That conversation was taken to Joe Martin. He rejected the idea. The board got together. They represented it to him. He said, okay, let's do it. And born was Juice Plus. The development of this took 400 applications to make it live. It was dead. Every time they produced it, it was dead. They couldn't get the live component. It was just another powdered concentrate like your Vital Greens or your ascorbic acids or all these dead powders that didn't have life to them. It took us 400 attempts. And when we finally made it and understood that we needed to neutralize and have the product dehydrated at 0 degrees temperature, at low temperatures, so it didn't heat or it didn't freeze and didn't tamper with the enzymes, what we produced was the world's first whole food medicine because it was live and it worked in the body the same way as fruit and veg. So this is the stuff that you need to know in your heart. You don't need to give people, you don't need to vomit on people's faces, but you need to understand that this formula is profound. And that's why the company is growing each and every single month, because a company will only grow if it has a product that works.
Nat, can you talk to us a bit more about like the live part? Like, just explain that a little bit further for us, what you mean by that, and how they you know, how did they test that? Like, do you know that?
Well, they test it to be live with a certain proprietary process that we're not aware of, but you can test it with certain types of, there's a formula you can buy from the chemist that you can, hydrochloric acid I think it is, you can pour it over sand, which is dead, which is just rocks, and it will just run over like water. You pour it over a cut apple and it will fizz. And you pour it over Juice Plus and it will fizz even more because it's live. The hydrochloric acid only reacts with enzymes. So enzymes is the live component of every plant on the planet. So if a plant is live, like a human being, and it has life force in it, the things that create the life force is the enzymes. The enzymes are the part that go brown. So when you cut the apple and it exposes to air and it goes brown, it's because the enzymes are dying.
Oxidizing.
It's oxidizing. And that's why they call it an antioxidant, because we've got the opposite with the berry blend. We've got the opposite with the fruit and veg blend. There's lots of antioxidants in the fruit, the veg, and the berry blend, but there's more antioxidants in the berry blend. There's more minerals in the veg blend, and there's more vitamins in the fruit blend, because fruit is a lot of vitamin nutrition. Veg is a lot of vitamin nutrition, and your berry blend is a lot of the antioxidant nutrition, but they all have the enzymes in them to keep those nutrient components alive. So when you put it into the body, the cell actually, it gets life. It's like putting a life force inside your cells to stimulate more life, more energy. So when you're pumping your Juice Plus into your body and you've got 30 servings of fruits and vegetables going in there and you're drinking lots of water, and those enzymes are taking the antioxidants, the minerals, the vitamins into the cell, permeating into the cell and exploding life in there, two things happen. One, the toxins have to exit, they get pushed out. And the other thing that happens is that the nutrition goes in and makes the mitochondria, which is the energy of the cell, so the engine of the cell, makes the mitochondria bigger and bigger and bigger. The cell gets thicker and thicker and thicker and richer and richer and richer, and more red blood cells get created. So you have immune health, immune response, energy, brightness in your skin, mental clarity, intelligence, and you respond rather than react in the body. The body becomes reactive when it's unhealthy. The body responds gently, as in nature intended for us to do, when we actually have life in our cells.
Awesome explanation.
So when you hear me talk like this, right, this is from having an obsession with education. And people go, how come you're the best closer in WA or whatever? They might say that. I've heard people say that before, but I don't believe it's true. I believe that I just believe I listen better. And I do believe I have a good way with words, but I believe those words came from being an insane educator. I just wanted to know everything. Now, I had a woman today, she messaged me and said, oh, here's my client's supplements, and what's this supplement, and what's that supplement? And I said, I'm going to empower you to Google what those supplements are. Go on Google and go find out. So she wrote me a report. This is magnesium, this is a probiotic, this is this, this is this. I said, okay, so which ones do you think she needs? She goes, oh my God, that was really fun. I said, why would you rely on me? Why would you not be an action taker and go and research yourself and figure it out? And she said, I don't know, Nat, I've always relied on other people. And I said, if you want to win at this business, you've got to be self-educated. So instead of, you definitely can ask questions, but if Noreen turns around and says to you, go and Google it, don't be offended. Remember, she's empowering you to go and get the education, because when you get the education yourself, you will 100% remember it, because you empowered yourself to get the information in the first place. So, you know, it always comes with kindness. Everything that we do as leaders, we all do that with kindness.
All right, darling, another question I've got for you.
Yes.
I'm going to keep firing you a few more questions. So because we've got all these lovely products, and we sort of get trained initially, don't we, guys, to be like premium pack, you know, but now we've got the omegas and we've got that nice combo. We can do different things. How do you assess what somebody needs and recommend? Is there a way, or is it more just based on what you said, the minerals, vitamins, antioxidants, and then also the omega?
Okay, so the omega blend is for your nervous health, okay? And your nervous system makes up the largest part of your body. It's your skin, it's your heart, it's your brain, it's the nervous system in the gut that feeds the brain. Your nerves run from the spine to the extremities of the body. Your nervous system is the thing that keeps you calm. And without servicing that, you don't have health. So the omega blend was specifically designed to calm the central nervous system. So that's the first system that needs to be calmed. I'll tell you what calms the central nervous system quicker than anything else is breath. So that's the thing we need. That's the food we need the most, because hold your breath for 3 minutes and you are going to die. So you've got to understand that omega blend supports nervous health. The second most important formula that we need to input into the body is fruits and vegetables, because fruits and vegetables feed the blood, the bones, the organ, the skin, the nervous system, everything, but it's immune health. It's actually 100% designed, the fruit, the veg, the berry blend capsules are designed to improve your immune health. But without the fatty acids in your diet, you don't absorb as much nutrition. So I have been selling fruit, veg and berry blend and omegas as an ultimate pack. It's $184 in Australia. I think it's almost $200 for you guys. It's $50 a week. It's $7 a day. It's the same price as a cup of coffee and a muffin. And if you're having problems and saying to yourself, it's expensive and people won't pay that, I want to share a story with you. When I first started Juice Plus 8.5 years ago, every single person told me it was expensive and no one would buy from me. Every person. And someone sat down with me and said, Nat, It's your scarcity mentality that's reflecting in them. I don't care if the whole country thinks it's expensive. That's because you think it's expensive. And I was like, oh, I don't know if I believe that, right? I was struggling with that concept over and over again. He said, go and get your education around the product and lift it and raise it and make it so strong that they can't live without it. They'll buy a house for $400,000. I said, yeah, but that's a house. He goes, it doesn't contribute to their health, and if they don't have their health, they don't have a house. I said, okay, all right, I get it. So what I did is I made fruit and veg blend inexpensive. Then when they invited the berry blend into the mix, I had to now make fruit, veg and berry blend inexpensive in my mind. I was like, what? Anyway, now we've got fruit, veg and berry blend and omegas, and guess what? $184, no brainer. I've actually shifted into that space already, and I'm not selling fruit, veg and berry blend at all, because I know the power of nervous health and immune health will give them better results. And those results will change someone's life forever. And how dare I not share that with people? Now, if they say it's too expensive, guess what I can say? Okay, well, what about if we do the fruit, the veg blend and the omegas? That makes it this price. And if you still can't afford that, how about we do the Vibrance and Vitality pack of the berry blend and the omegas? That's a little bit cheaper again, and then you're getting all those antioxidants, and then you're getting all those omegas, and that's the Vibrancy and Vitality pack, which is a great starting point for you. Do you see? So start big and work backwards.
Yeah. That's awesome, hun. And then another question, why do I have to buy 4 months worth?
Because it takes 120 days for the blood to turn over, to cycle through. The blood I have today and the blood I have in 120 days is different, because it has to come, you know, the blood cycles through. This is a scientific fact. So we base all our studies on 120 days. We base our boxes on 120 days, because the first 120 days is a blood cleanse. You get a little bit of stacking, but not much. It's a blood cleanse. All the crap's coming out of your body. Some people come up in hives. Some people get a rash. Noreen got flare up in her face. Some people get constipated. Some people get diarrhea. Some people get a headache. Some people get a cold. Some people get a flu. Everything's got to make it out of the system. But it's so gentle. It is so super gentle. It doesn't kill anyone. And we've never had a reaction in anyone's body that has been linked to Juice Plus medically as a deficit for anybody. So it's a profound formula for that reason. But the next 4 months of Juice Plus is when we see people's health improve, so much so that things like Hashimoto's starts getting better, fibromyalgia starts getting better, Crohn's disease starts getting better. Like people's conditions, the symptomatic responses of those conditions start to get better. Because what happens after 120 days of fruit and veg in the bloodstream, people start craving more fruits and vegetables. So they start eating more smoothies, more juices, more salads. And guess what? We give them a program to back that up, and all of a sudden, boom, they've completely changed everything. So it's really super gentle.
Mm. Great. I love it. This is good, this Q&A. So I've got another one for you. Can you tell me a little bit more about the actual clinical studies? Like, why is Juice Plus's study so good?
Okay, so there's two types of studies. One is clinically proven, okay, and that is when we borrow research. So Noreen is a chemical company, and she is doing some research on how much vitamin C people need in their system to avoid colds and flus for the current up and coming winter months. She's worked out on average people need around 500 milligrams. So Nick is the other chemical, you're the science department, Norris, and Nick is the chemical company. So Nick is making now pills with 500 milligrams of vitamin C in it. Now, Megan and Tracy and Steph, can you tell me how much vitamin C you need in your blood today? Right now, as we sit here, how much do you need right now? Did you eat an orange this morning? Have you not eaten oranges for a week? Does anyone know? We don't know. So when you're taking a vitamin C pill, you're actually playing Russian roulette. What happens if you put too much vitamin C in your body and you wig out other things? What happens if you're not absorbing vitamin C because your gut's shit? So this is the problem. So when we do our research, we test the products in the blood cells of human beings and we get accurate results of what's actually going on. So we are peer-reviewed, means reviewed by a governing board of doctors. We are gold standard, the highest level of research. We are double-blind, 2 groups, 1 blind, 1 open. So the open group take Juice Plus and the blind group take, looks like Juice Plus, but they don't know it's not. And then we swap it out. So double-blind, peer-reviewed, gold standard, swapped out, independent research. Independent of our company. Universities do the research and we have no say in the outcome. So the research is profound. And for a company to have 3 medical research journals on a product is profound. We have 40. So we are now the most clinically researched company in the world in regards to nutraceutical products. There is no company that has more research than us. We are now scientifically proven to be a whole food medicine. And this is why I've stayed with this company for such a long time, because there is nothing on the market that trumps it. Herbalife say they've got research. Isogenics say they got research. It's all borrowed research. It's clinically proven. Let's test over here. Let's make over here. Never tested the product in the blood of human beings. And guess why they don't? Because they know the results won't be accurate because they are chemically put together with certain quantities where we're just like a whole orange, a whole apple. And guess what happens with a whole orange and a whole apple? The body absorbs the nutrients it needs and discards the rest, just like an apple, because we're whole food, all whole food with enzymatic nature, alive nature. So that's the difference between us and the rest of the world.
Fantastic. And that's really important, guys, is the research. That's what, I mean, can you believe that? We are a whole food medicine. I want you to really let that sink in and get that verbiage going on. You know, we're the most researched. So we've got a huge, I don't know if you realize it yet, you go in and get into the clinical research on your website and have a look at the studies. Like, yeah, they're pretty boring to read, and I've tried to read some of them, but research studies papers are quite boring. However, they are there and they're published. So we've got a massive you're backed by science, which is pretty awesome. Natty, I have another question for you, which I think might be the last question, which I now forgotten what it was. Shit, what were we talking about? Clinical research.
I just have to say something while you're thinking about this. People ask you, I already eat enough fruits and vegetables, and you say, you know what, I thought I did too. I actually thought I did too. I was having a juice and a smoothie and a salad every day, but I wasn't getting the variety or the quality. And they weren't always seasonal. So I was wondering why I kept getting the occasional flu and cold, and I was wondering why I felt flat at times. And that's something quite profound. And people also ask you, why is it so expensive? And you need to say, look, I thought Juice Plus was expensive too. Always be agreeable. I thought Juice Plus was really expensive too. But now that I have it in my system and I realise what I'm ingesting and what it's done for me, this is the cheapest healthcare I've ever had. It has changed everything for me. My food bills come down by $100 a week. I'm not buying all that rubbish anymore because I don't crave it. I'm taking less medications. I'm taking less supplements because Juice Plus is a one-stop shop. I'm craving a lot more good quality produce, and I have higher energy levels, and I'm working just that little bit more and earning a bit more of an income. So in actual fact, I feel like my product has changed my life.
Yeah. Oh, I remember the question. Last question, Nat, because it's getting late, is can you please explain to us the additional ingredients?
The additional ingredients, they need to be there no matter what. And the additional ingredients is calcium ascorbate, which is a vitamin C formula. It's made in Taiwan, not China, and it is as clean as possible. We have to put it in there, the calcium ascorbate's live, but we have to put it in there to raise the levels of vitamin C, because vitamin C is very sensitive and it can, even in the airtight capsules, it can die off. So it needs to be in there to monitor the levels, to actually have enough content in the capsule to be classified as something safe for pregnancy, safe for children consumption, safe for human consumption. It needs to be in there to top up those stores to keep that regulated. Oranges have a really funny thing that they do. Sometimes they provide lots of vitamin C and sometimes they don't. So it's something that has been added in, but I'm talking, if we're supposed to have 500 milligrams a day, we have 0.03% added into the product to regulate and stimulate the natural vitamin C. So please don't focus on it, because it's just ridiculous. So ridiculous to even focus on it. Okay. And the other ingredient is the folic acid, has been put in there so it's safe for pregnancy. Folic acid is made in Europe. It's a one-process folic acid. It goes from folate to folic acid, whereas most folic acids produced actually go through 8 processes and they don't replicate food. So and the folic acid's coming out, by the way, they're taking it out.
Oh, the capsules as well as the chews?
I think so.
Oh, that's new. I did read that it's like a biofermentation process. So everything, all the additional ingredients, apart from the folic acid, because that's made through a process, is all from natural sources.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just good to know, because you might get asked that question. I have been asked that question. So we're just trying to fuel you up with answers on how to tackle these things. And you're not meant to know everything, guys. Like, you don't have to. You just say, hey, look, I'm not sure. I've just got to go and check, with someone or whatever, or have a look at it. Don't focus on it, but just, I think it's good to know.
Well, the additional ingredients are food anyway. It's just that they've been made and separated and put back in. And it's just because it's a very conscious company that needs to make sure we regulate the level of nutrition in there so it stays at a high standard.
Yeah.
Capsules are pullulan, which is tapioca, and it is really tapioca starch. That's what it is. And just take it and it just digests like food. Very, 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 very safe.
Yeah.
But if people don't like the capsules, they can open them up and put the powdered concentrate into a smoothie or put it under their tongue or do whatever they want, into water, whatever they want.
Now,
anyway,
just one more real quick. Michelle Ball, she quickly says on her website that to advise people to take 1 capsule a day for a first week and then go on 2. Do you recommend that?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I do. Then they lag out at the end of their box if their box comes and they still have capsules left over. It's one benefit. Second benefit is wean them on slowly so they don't have a explosive detox. And the third reason really is to just get them consciously knowing that they are taking something quite powerful.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. All right, guys. Thanks, Nat. You've been amazing. That was cool. Lots of good info there, I think. Sorry it went so late, everyone. All right.
Thank you, Nat. It was awesome.
Oh, I love you guys.
Bye, guys. Thanks heaps for getting on.